What's up guys, this is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down the best wide receiver route running drills in 2025. Now this first drill, fellas, is going to be called our Sprint Decel 45-degree cut drill. So you're going to need 3 separate cones, or I guess you could say 3 separate landmarks. So you need a starting point cone. We're not going to start this drill in a receiver stance though, and I'll explain why in a second. We're going to start this with almost like a baseball shuffle. So you're going to shuffle into it, burst up to this first cone that's going to be about 5 yards away. So you have the start point cone, then you have a cone 5 yards away. Once you get to this 5-yard point, you're going to have a violent decel of your feet, and then you're going to re-accelerate up to the top of this cone right here, where we have 6 cones, and I like to call it an energy lane. And this is the lane of the 45-degree cut, aka a curl or a comeback route. So after you decelerate right here, we're trying to replicate that same deceleration at the 45-degree cut. So we decel, accelerate back up to this orange cone right here, which is my break point. Same type of decel, but now we're flipping my hips and accelerating out of these cones. And you could have a quarterback here throwing you a ball. If you don't have a quarterback to throw with you, it's still great to work on your route running. So let's talk about the reason why behind this drill, and then we'll show this drill in a full speed example. Also, fellas, I recommend doing probably about 5 reps, or you're doing this 45 to the left, 5 reps where we flip the energy lane and go back the opposite way. So why do we shuffle into it? Number one, we shuffle into it simply because it creates more momentum. A lot of times receivers out of a receiver stance, set, go, they have these really low, powerful strides. And so when you get up to this orange cone, there's not much of a hip drop. There's not much of a decel because you're already running low to the ground, and we don't want to build a bad habit of standing straight up in the air to try to run taller. So we're shuffling to try to mimic mid-route. We're trying to create some momentum, right? So you shuffle into it so you're already up tall, so you actually have to drop your hips. Now, we do 2 cuts because, again, we're trying to replicate that hip drop at the top of the break. If I'm running a 45-degree cut, I got to make that defender think I'm trying to run past him. I want him to think I'm running a fade. So I want him to backpedal, oh crap, turn and open up. So the only way I'm able to change direction while going full speed is I need that violent hip drop. So I'm going full speed, full speed, full speed. The only way I'm going to slow down is if I'm violent with the drop and I'm quick with my hips. So that's what this drill ultimately works on. And then accelerating through this energy lane works on that 3rd phase of the route, which is winning the race back to the ball. So we're going to show you how this drill should look full speed. Now also, fellas, before we get into the next few drills of this video, if you're a receiver and you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches this offseason, we're going to be traveling out to 12 more cities across the entire U.S. for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. So guys, if you're interested, check out that very first link in the description below. That's where you are going to sign up or be able to sign up and get all information on the camps. Our next 2 camps will be in Austin, Texas and Charlotte, North Carolina. Both of those camps are completely booked, completely sold out, and the rest of our camps will sell out, fellas, because we simply limit spots just because we want each athlete to get individual coaching and individual attentions. You're not going to get better at a camp if it's just run guys through as many drills and as many reps as we possibly can. You need coaching to actually get better, and that's the main focus of our camps. But we do have available spots that will fill up soon in our camps in Las Vegas, Nevada, Seattle, Washington. Then we'll be heading out to Chicago, Illinois, Newark, New Jersey, Birmingham, Alabama, Houston, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts, Columbus, Ohio, Boise, Idaho, and our last camp will be in Los Angeles, California. So guys, if you're local to any one of those cities, you want to train with me and my staff for 2 full days, go to that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you there. Now this next drill, fellas, is going to be called our PVC pipe whip route drill. Now if you don't have a PVC pipe, you do this with a stick. I mean, you can do this with any type of object, if you will. If you don't have a PVC pipe, you can just simply do this with your hands, but there are a couple things that the PVC pipe helps with, so I recommend using some type of object like this on the drill. But it's for a whip route. It can also help with generally any break at the top of the route. So let's talk about a whip route. What is a whip route in a second? So let's say the quarterback's over here. A whip route is essentially where you're trying to sell a slant and then you whip back towards the sideline. So I break, I take 3 steps towards the slant, 1, 2, I drop my hips, whip this outside foot back around, and then I'm back to my out route. So we're trying to work on that like pivot and hook step on the whip. So you break to the whip, you got to sell it. We got to make sure my hips and my shoulders are committed to the slant. Maybe your eyes even back to the quarterback. That's the first step on the whip. Second step, third step, you got to drop your hips down. You got to try to bring your chin to your knee. It's like that violent hip drop that we talked about earlier in this video. And this step has to hook around to get your hips parallel to the line of scrimmage so we could drive out efficiently. So this drill kind of works on that, and it works on us being able to drop low but not be too far forward. A lot of times guys will run this whip route, and when they try to drop, their chin goes past their knee, past their toe, and they drift forward and they take a bunch of steps. We don't want to do that. We just want to sit down and get out. So that's where the PVC pipe comes into play. You're gonna have this PVC pipe over your head. You're just gonna fall forward. Now, as you fall forward and you feel your chest getting parallel to the ground, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pivot, hook around, but this PVC pipe is going to drop to your shoelaces because it won't allow you to fall forward. Your shins are going to hit the PVC pipe, and that's gonna probably not feel too good, but also it's a way to know that you're leaning too far forward and you need to sit down more. So again, you're gonna be here. It's just gonna be a fall forward, 1, 2. And you just sit straight on down like this. Now again, we're gonna probably be doing 8 reps where you pivot left then right, then 8 reps where you pivot right then left to work on the steps of the whip and the drop of your hips on the whip. So I'm gonna show you how this should look, full speed. Now this next drill, fellas, is gonna be called our kick step crossover release drill. So you're gonna need 3 cones set up at like a 45-degree angle. So from orange cone to blue cone, it's probably about 2 yards away at a 45. Then from blue to this orange cone, that's probably about 2 yards away at a 45-degree angle. Now, what does a kick step crossover release look like? So this is a release that you would use when you have a DB who's like inside shade, but he's like 2 to 3 yards away. And so obviously anytime that we have a gap of space between me and a DB, what I wanna do is I wanna close that gap. So like, let's say the DB is sitting right here at this orange cone. I don't want to just give him a move and keep this gap of space, because even if he jumps, I got to go get up into my route, and there's this space here. So that means he could cut off my angle. Releases is all about being able to win the angle. So I want to close the space, then give him a move. So if he jumps, I could get right past his hip and get to a position called restacking, which is where he is trailing directly behind me. So at the top of the route, I can give him a move, I give him a move inside, whatever, to be able to get more separation, right? So this drill works on us closing the space, but it also works on the move itself. So what's this kick step crossover release? So this is a move where I only recommend it if he's off. We can't do this type of stuff if he's closer, right? So your first step is going to be with your back foot here. You're going to try to step and bring your right foot almost even with your left foot in this case, because my left foot's up. Then you're going to step with your left foot. Those are the close the space steps and square up. 1, 2. So it's kick, so it's right, left. It's a 4-step release, but that kick and that step closes the space, crossover makes the DB miss. So we're pretty much breaking that in half. So you want to do, I would say, 5 reps where you're going to the left, then 5 reps where you switch the blue cone on the opposite side, switch the orange cone on the opposite side, and you go left, right. So breaking it in half. First cone, we're not throwing the crossover. We're just going to try to get to the blue cone in 2 steps. Then you're going to reset, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to burst up into like a fade route, quarterback give you a ball. If you don't have a quarterback, just make sure that we accelerate out and go full speed. So like I said, make sure we're working this on both sides. I'm gonna show you how this should look full speed.